Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our second semi-final here in the Solidarity Challenge. We, of course, do have Danny Kerr taking on Scott McTominay. Danny Kerr's been on a bit of a roll here, going up against another footballer. He just dealt with Giorgio Chiellini, of course, today. So can he go on and do the same against Scott McTominay? What are we thinking here, Harry? Scott has been up and down, sort of. We were expecting maybe some better performances out of him, but we haven't yet seen his PES prowess that we were expecting to.
Certainly don't think we've seen the best out of Scott McTominay so far, but Danny is, he's proven already that he can dispatch professional footballers. So if I was Scott McTominay going into this match, I might be a little bit worried about this one because, Danny can be a bit of a banana peel, clearly, for some of these footballers.
And clearly, and I think his win against Giorgio Chiellini is really what solidified Danny as one of the favourites for this one. Giorgio looked really good against Yaya Toure, but struggled to score past him, and Danny honestly had a couple more chances that he could have made it even further into the lead. But Scott, as said, he really hasn't necessarily flexed his attacking muscles that we have seen previously yet so far, beating Robert Pires and Luis Saha, and of course Danny beating Giorgio Chiellini in the quarterfinals and Matthew Best-of-Row, of course, in the first round. But it is, of course, another footballer against another footballer up against a rugby player, and we're interested to get into this game. It's going to be Danny taking on Scott McTominay, and we are going to have a quick chat just before the game. All right, boys, you're about to get into your semi-final. We're excited for it. It's coming to the business end of the competition now as well. But first and foremost, just want to chat a little bit about this because obviously the Solidarity Challenge is to raise money for the Solidarity Response Fund. And we just wanted to get your take on the whole lockdown, etc., how it has affected you. Firstly, I'm going to go to you, Scott. How do you feel it's going to be playing without fans in the stadium? That's going to be a strange one, surely.
Yeah, we've had one experience of it. It was our last game that we played away at Lask, and it's very strange. It is, honestly, it's a strange experience. It's a different one, but it's something that you have to relish and obviously not look too much into not having people there watching and big crowds and stuff like that. So for us, it'll be hopefully business as usual. Everyone just doing the best, acting as if there was a normal crowd there, and just trying to really get some big wins under our belt as well when we get back.
And Danny, for you, looking forward to getting the season maybe resumed at some point, or just getting back to rugby in general?
Yeah, mate, I'm dying to get out of the house, to be honest, pal. 2 kids here, it's a tough old shift. So yeah, back training in some capacity next week, I think in small groups, and then they've set a target date about 10 weeks' time for us to play. So yeah, boys are itching to get back. I was just telling Scott, I can't wait to see some of the shape of some of our big lads because we're going to see it next week. So yeah, looking forward to getting back in.
Yeah. The lockdown weight has plagued me myself anyway, so intrigued to see. I hope the athletes will be fine. But of course, we're ready to get into your next game now. How are we feeling ahead of the semi-final here, Scott?
Yeah, obviously it's going to be a good game. Hopefully it'll be a good watch as well, and hopefully 2 fiercely competitive individuals go at it. So it should be a good one.
And Danny, you must be feeling good after your win against Giorgio there. Are you feeling confident, or are you just eager to get into the game and see what happens?
Nah, I've got a feeling I might have met my maker here. You know, we've got a young guy in his prime, spends a lot of time, I imagine. And, you know, he's playing as himself. He's playing as his own team again. So, yeah, I mean, the pressure's obviously all going to be on Scott. I'm just here to support the fun.
I don't give it all this pressure's on me. I know what he's like. He's been practicing. I can see by looking at him. He's been practicing.
I'm just here to raise awareness, mate, and try it out.
Well, thank you very much, boys, and good luck in the game. So here we go then. Danny Kerr taking on Scott McTominay, the second semi-final. Who will find themselves in that grand final now will be Manchester United, Scott McTominay, taking on Barcelona's Danny Kerr in the second semi-final.
I might just lay one on you, your own character early doors.
It's great to see the mind games in the pre-match interview, you know, trying to exploit maybe the mental state of Scott McTominay, who's no doubt going to be the favourite in this matchup. For Danny, I think he can just let loose a little bit. I think he's done well to come this far, and anything
he's 100% been practicing.
Bonus result. This is, of course,
only because I played today, mate. I've had one game.
You know it means.
I'm coming on cold here.
Oh, that's
no excuse.
Some mind games going on. Definitely mind games going on in the chat there before, so I'm interested to see. Yeah, absolutely. I want all the mind games. Scott McTominay, of course, you know, Manchester United, you're talking Alex Ferguson, etc., etc. So one of those where it's bred within Manchester United players, I suppose, isn't it? But here we go.
So that lad you got up front, he's just he's a young kid, is he?
Yeah, he's called Demar. He's a great kid. Oh, he's so funny. But yeah, that's because it's on the stat balance stuff.
Out to Mata, maybe an opportunity here.
I think it's so like everybody's 85 rated, so it's like I don't know. If the players, say if Newcastle United are not as good as Real Madrid, then they would have similar stats. Sort of thing.
A good one to get under your belt. I think this was a difficult.
I don't know why they've done that, but you can't skip the replays on it either.
To produce something special, but you're right. It was the first opportunity, and
yeah, you can't skip.
I think that will give Scott a bit of confidence going forward. Danny's going to have to very much mind his P's and Q's at the back and make sure he doesn't give up any silly opportunities here.
No.
Ball will fall for Dembele, back to De Jong, and the ball forward towards Suarez. Was dangerous, and after his goal against Juventus and Giorgio Chiellini, he's going to be looking for that man Suarez time and time again. Marty Miller now down this left-hand side will just get bullied off the ball by Rakitic. Mata now to Rashford. That's an ambitious ball, and Piqué will get in the way. But both players showing that they do have that attacking prowess, at least. There should be goals in this game.
Open up, son.
Ousmane Dembele, Suarez, Busquets. You get a nosebleed going that far forward. McTominay will set up the counter-attack here for Manchester United.
Run Mason.
Seems to be the final third. The final ball is wanting from both players, but Marty Miller is going to have a shot here now. And that will swing wide of the right-hand side.
Got him pending here, you know, got him pending.
Nearly scored the goal of his life, this kid here.
It was. Just closing down was Marty Miller. A player that a lot of people at home might not be.
You have to believe that. Sorry for swearing.
Confident or not confident, familiar with.
Yeah, we'll play out.
One of the Manchester United youth setup. Really, really strong player in this stat balance.
Go on then, Scott.
Has a lot of height. A lot of strength about him, which is why some of the professional players representing Manchester United like to turn to him at the top level.
Lindelof will get in the way in. Ousmane Dembele now to Jordi Alba, not necessarily known for his prowess in front of goal. That's not that far away though.
Jordi Alba on his right foot.
Back out to him. It's not a terrible effort, but maybe you'd like to see that at the feet of Suarez, the feet of Lionel Messi, or even Ousmane Dembele.
They've got to change these replays.
Yeah, some of those shots can sometimes trickle in. It was a bit of an awkward bounce. Just had enough curl and spin on it to get it in between the goalposts. But
go on then.
Wasn't troubling De Gea that time. Needs a bit of a stronger effort next time round.
You happy with your own ratings on this, mate, or what?
Disappointed, mate, to be honest.
Really?
To Rashford, really nice ball.
No.
Scott McTominay. Will be played away though.
There we go. Nemanja.
Through the legs of Matic, and he manages to squeeze by. Suarez can't quite get it through. De Jong, though, does have a little bit of pace about him. Dembele, a little bit of room. Suarez back to Dembele.
No.
The Frenchman looking to score the first goal here. Very wise to it.
Come on, set it up now.
There for Barcelona and for Danny Kerr.
Yeah, the best of the game so far, I would argue. Real central had Dembele.
No, what's the referee doing?
Just lacked that finishing touch. Maybe a bit more pace.
Run, Louis.
On the shot, and there's a chance.
Suarez is in here. Can he make it 1-0?
How's he missed?
By the Spaniard,
He's unbelievable.
Oh, press shot as well.
But De Gea will be there once again.
Rolling.
And that is a big opportunity there for Danny. Suarez not able to convert this time. He's been clinical.
No, that is.
For Danny so far.
Looks threatening, doesn't he, Danny, so far? Looks very much up for this semi-final.
33 minutes gone, and it really has been a close game so far.
Maybe youngster out of position. It's just experience.
Sergio Roberto stretching his legs down this right hand side.
No, he's there!
Sergio Roberto.
Oh, I got excited.
But a lung-busting run, which will be played away by Scott McTominay, but he may have given it away again. The pass is wayward towards Dembele. Not often Frankie de Jong will make that kind of mistake. Speaking of his mistakes, McTominay has given it away with himself. Suarez now to Dembele.
He's been practicing with these crosses.
infamously scored a fantastic
What am
header
I doing
against
there?
Manchester United once. The leap up against Rio Ferdinand, I think it was. This time round, trying
You
it
can't
once again,
lose to
not
a
going to
rugby
happen
game.
that
Like,
time.
do you know what I mean?
The opportunities
one of
though
them,
do
isn't
seem
it?
to be falling a little bit more to Danny here.
Yeah, it was an
No, I keep
encouraging
dropping it short every
opening minutes for McTominay, but Danny's really building on the pressure he's sustained in the last 10 or so.
No,
So we'll see.
my God, what is my guy doing?
Greenwood now back to McTominay. Rashford back to Matt there, and then back to Rashford again. It's well worked. Damani Mella, can he manage to squeeze it through? Good defending.
Get there.
Sergio Roberto, who gets back in the end. And Messi.
There's no way one matters as quick as Messi.
What can the magician
Run,
do?
Timo!
It's a good ball in towards
Why
Suarez.
is he
Quite get there though. In the end, it is actually quite a poor pass.
Get into him, Suarez.
That will be the end of the half. Actually back, but no goals to talk about yet.
Very cagey.
Cagey
Danny on that far side.
Goals penalties again, yeah.
I'm not sure if he actually realised he had a bit more room to manoeuvre and a bit more time in his hands than he did, but you can tell Danny is very confident in his dribbling runs. He's noticing
he's got to nick that.
He's a little bit weak when coming towards the ball, so he'll try and exploit that more in the second half.
In towards Suarez once again.
Yeah,
has whiffed at Danny before. De Jong.
He's been practicing these fake
not really tested David De Gea there. Just seems as if Scott's giving the ball away a couple of...
Jesus.
Well, maybe too many a time.
No.
They say that as Danny gives it away, and then Scott gives it straight back to him. Messi now. Room in front of him with the options.
I know he's coming back on that lefty. I know he's coming back on that lefty.
Industrious in the middle at times. One matter, and Rashford trying to get away. Can't quite. Busquets is back. The Spaniard covering where he can.
Why would you play that?
No. Down this left-hand side will send Marcus Rashford away.
Who's this catching
chase as well, but Rashford definitely has the pace on him here. Can he get the ball in? No. Cutting across with
I mean, that's just cool.
The referee may have looked at it, but no penalty given that.
Strong challenge and a good counter here coming for Danny as well.
Now then, I've read you as well.
Substitute.
And again, I've read you.
I'm nervous.
Really like to utilise
get there, Marcus.
brought on late, and no doubt Scott McTominay has plenty on the bench as well.
Messi, you've got to make that run.
Substitutes maybe to make an impact here soon, Chris. You have the likes of Paul Pogba, Bruno Fernandes here for Manchester United, still yet to be introduced. It might just be a game changer waiting on the bench.
Tired legs will be coming into play. 60 minutes gone. Nobody able to break the deadlock so far between Danny Kerr and Scott McTominay. Messi now for Danny here down this right-hand side.
Why?
Not very good, though.
I just know he's coming back.
McTominay's going to lose it in the middle. Scott McTominay.
Mate.
Dembele now trying to pass through to Messi. Not going to happen this time round. And again,
I'm
it
off,
just seems to be that final pass in the final.
I am off.
Mostly for Danny in the second half, though. Scott really hasn't had anything to write home about. Messi now. Wriggling through where he can. He's inside the box. Lionel Messi's so dangerous in these areas, but Fosu Mensah will get across, but will lose it. Messi now whips it in, and Matic will just about get there first. Suarez and Dembele were lingering. Greenwood now. It's a wayward ball, and once again, that final pass not working out for either player.
Just seems to be running out of ideas here. McTominay comes forward again, though.
Oh, Rashford is in! And all of a sudden, he's been pinned back the whole half.
What was that throw I've done there?
Gets a goal with Marcus
What was the keeper done?
to make it 1-0.
What was the keeper done? Who is it to say again?
Well, just as I said, he's running out of ideas.
Oh, I've had one chance.
It's Danny
in one-way
Kerr.
traffic.
Gifts him a golden one.
Ter Stegen, have a word with yourself.
Right, Manchester United midfielder, and
that's a great ball, mate.
There to slot it home.
The man has done well. That's
really bad error for what has been a tremendous defensive performance so far from Danny.
I've not had a sniff all game.
It's against the run and play for Scott McTominay and the Manchester United man. He's stolen a goal.
Right, I'll just get this on defensive.
What is Danny made of here? We can see Griezmann is on now as well.
Go on.
Mensah will try to get this one away, but Yeah, Danny, you feel aggrieved for how much of the ball you've had in the second half specifically. You may have a chance here though. Sergio Roberto.
Little man.
Suarez is lingering.
Oh,
and the Uruguay.
little man will be giving you some tips.
He knows better. He knows better
Wide
than me.
the left post, and it's a delicious ball in.
I think Louis got to score that.
Yeah, he does.
Post. Suarez is there, and he's
What's Eric doing there?
Well, I thought the earlier chance which came to Messi on his head, I thought to myself, oh, maybe if Suarez is on that one, he gets a better connection. That's a
none of this short build-up in crucial stages like this.
Danny couldn't quite steer the header on target. Such a shame.
Rakitic now. 75 minutes gone, and that is a brilliant ball to Suarez. De Gea may get
it's a car crash. Oh, what is that?
Corner. I think that's deflected off from Manchester United.
What is going on, man?
It has done.
Right, come on.
Leo Messi now. 76 minutes gone.
3-car pilot.
Goes towards the front post. Frankie de Jong can't quite get Rakitic on the deflection. It's going to be Suarez in the box. Which way is this one going to go? It's off the line.
Suarez, I thought it's the best goal.
Well,
what's that?
It's absolute chaos from the corner.
It's a scramble. Suarez has gone for, he's gone for the
shot.
I missed
target. Hits the post. Out of danger. Boy, the pressure is mounting here. And
right, come on.
Not giving up this one at all.
Yeah, they're scared. They want to get off the pitch.
In the middle. Suarez is there. And that's another corner.
That's never been a corner.
The pressure.
Some of your lads putting it there.
Messi whips it in. That should be easy for Madic to clear.
Oh my word!
Fonsu will be able to get this one away. Busquets though will retrieve it. Jordi Alba, Messi. Look at
no, you can't play a ball
shot
like
for that
that.
opportunity. And De Gea will get this one away. It's a cracking goal kick in fairness, and Damani Mella will get a hold of it as well.
Go on then, Damani.
9 minutes to go. Sergio Roberto will just about get
absolutely
there as
read me. Still figuring out
do or die now.
fake shot. Oh,
Danny's going to have to find something.
Brilliant, son.
Suarez not going to be able to get on that one. Lindelof trying to get rid of it. Nice calm pass yet from the Manchester United man in Scott McTominay.
Just using the experience.
Look at
I
the
like it.
here. Just needs a good run. Damani Mella will be offside.
Is he offside?
He will test to stay.
Is he? He is.
Yeah, he is.
So still time
offside.
here
Skipped it.
for Danny Kerr to get back into this game.
He's got a score though.
Force penalties. Could he even find a winner if he finds two?
Go on then.
Maybe hard pressed. 87 minutes gone. Barely any time now.
No, Messi.
Alba to Langley. Messi now rushes that final pass. Fonsu will get this one away. McTominay will send one Mata, but Piqué comes flying out of the defence. Rakitic can't quite get there.
Ter Stegen.
Left a little bit of room in behind Marcus Rashford. Can he beat Ter Stegen there? Oh, he's going to tackle the goalkeeper. This is surely going to be it. Marcus Rashford to seal the deal. Scott McTominay.
I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Oh, Ter Stegen. For a man who's
Danny Kerr's Barcelona.
The big stage, he's let himself down.
Oh wow. I've had two chances all game.
It's absolutely
two chances.
Hammertus at the back. The virtual Manchester United players know.
The boys, there he is. They good lid on you on that game.
Seals them there. Controlled
They've got a nice sweep, haven't they?
Scott McTominay.
Oh, what's he seen there?
It honestly should be cleared there by Ter Stegen.
No!
And I think
that is
a bit harsh on him.
Mate.
He's chased the game for, well, since the goal went in initially for Scott McTominay, but this is a bad defensive error. Rashford always alert to it.
Keepers, yeah, he's there.
Well, it's a gift.
Keepers.
It really is. Commiserations
Can't
to
believe
Danny
it.
Kerr.
About 6 times.
Great showing all tournament long. But he's met his maker, as he said in the pre-match interview here, in Scott McTominay.
I can't believe Suarez is dinged the keeper and it's missed.
Absolutely.
Come on, Red.
For Danny Kerr to come back into this one
No.
now. Can he maybe find himself a consolation goal? Busquets the man.
There she is. What's on
will go out to play. That will be the last kick of the game. Is Marcus
Oh, that was a
Rashford
good game, man.
grabbing a brace for Manchester United and Scott McTominay. he will be heading into the final of the Solidarity Challenge. All right, boys, a good game there, and Scott, just maybe, taking advantage of a couple of little mistakes by Danny there in the end to find the 2-0 win.
Yeah, I was in trouble, to be honest. I was up to 70 minutes when I scored. I was in big trouble, so I was thinking in my head, this could be a long day going to penalties again. But obviously it was a mistake, so I was lucky enough to get that, and it was a decent free ball, to be fair. So no, it was I rolled my luck at times anyway.
And Danny, that's got to be a hard one to bear. You had most of the ball, especially in the second half up until the goal, but just couldn't find that gilt edge opportunity. The one with Suarez, the header, was the one I pointed out that I thought maybe you could have done a little bit better in that one, but an unfortunate loss, I would say.
Chris, you got to take your chances at the top level. You know what I mean? It's one of them. Semi-final comes around, you got to take your chances. Suarez is trying to reverse lob over the keeper. I'm not sure how I did that with the controller, but nah, Scott he deserved the win. Took his chances well, and I'm backing him to go all the way.
Oof. Well, Scott, you will now go to the final, which I'm sure will be tough. But Danny, you've been a great competitor. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, mate. Enjoyed it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
really appreciate that.
So there we go. Then it will be Scott McTominay going into that grand final. And I think Danny will feel a little bit aggrieved by that one. It has to be said. He had probably the better of the chances up until Scott scored, I would think, Harry.
Yeah, he certainly seemed to reflect that in the post-match interview, didn't he? He seemed a bit almost like he was robbed. He actually mentioned Suarez, obviously, with that chip. He wasn't sure exactly how he did it. And to be honest with you, I'm not either. But he's certainly, for the rugby union player, put on a really good show. You can tell he was quite confident with how he was controlling his players throughout the entire tournament. And it's just a shame, really, that his tournament run ends here in the semi-final. But well beaten in the end, I think, by Scott McTominay.
Yeah, Scott just took his chances that he found to him, especially the second one was just gilt edge, and Danny just lingered on the ball too long with the keeper. The first one was obviously given away by the keeper again, and then it's just one of these scenarios where Scott still has work to do, but did very well with it, and in the end, he took his chances, and Danny just unfortunately could not with Barcelona, but there you go. He will go on into the final. Just to remind you guys why we are doing the Solidarity Challenge before we do wrap it up. Of course, it is to support the WHO in the fight against coronavirus. The COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund is what we are donating to. You can donate at www.solidaritychallenge.org. Every single penny of those donations go towards helping fight the coronavirus. Now, we do have the grand final coming up very, very shortly. You don't want to go anywhere.